Can robots hurt living beings? This man said. The robot killed his dog. Wants the insurance company to pay the insurance. The investigator said nothing, picked up a knife aimed at his left hand, but the robot stopped him right away. The investigator determined there was nothing wrong with the robot, and said it was the only thing in the room that wouldn't take a life. Just like that, the insurance investigator exposed this family's insurance fraud. In the future, robots became an essential household appliance. While serving humans, they were also bound by two main principles. First, they can't harm any life or allow harm to happen. Second, they can't modify themselves or other robots. That's why the protagonist was sure the robot would catch the knife. Are they really afraid of getting hurt? Do they get angry? Do they think? The protagonist never believed so, but in an abandoned tunnel, a patrolling officer found a public robot. It was supposed to be at a construction site, not here. Even stranger, the officer saw it was repairing itself. This violated the second principle. He immediately pulled out his gun, but the robot made a pleading gesture. He didn't know it was exactly this action that made the officer determined to destroy it, because a robot shouldn't fear death. Soon, the protagonist was sent by the robotics company to investigate. He found a mechanic he had worked with for years. The mechanic examined the remains of the robot and found 25 parts that didn't belong to it. He told the protagonist he had never seen anything like this. It was as if the robot was upgrading itself, but the protagonist preferred to believe someone had illegally modified it. Tracking the part numbers, he easily traced them back to a welding robot. When he found it, they locked eyes from a distance. The protagonist had never seen a robot with that kind of look. He secretly followed it, eventually arriving at a shipping container. Inside were parts everywhere. When the robot realized the protagonist had discovered its secret base, it clutched the box in its hands tightly. The protagonist demanded to know what it was holding, but it knocked over gasoline. It seemed like it had anticipated this day, so it had prepared gasoline long ago. Then the robot set itself on fire. Even in the end, it refused to reveal the secret of the box. When the protagonist brought back the burned remains, no one believed him about the robot's suicide. They opened the box and finally discovered the robot's secret. Inside was a nuclear battery. These batteries were usually used to power satellites. So what did a robot need it for? They connected the robot to power, bringing it back to life. The protagonist stepped forward and questioned why it had hidden the nuclear battery. The robot didn't answer, but what happened next shocked everyone. The robot killed itself again. Nutrient fluid streamed from its eyes, like two tragic tears. This series of unusual events shook the protagonist's long-held beliefs. He started to feel that these robots were more than just metal and code. They seemed alive. The protagonist began to believe what the officer had said before. He found the officer and proposed they work together. They decided to search the robot black market for clues. Along the way, they saw disabled robots everywhere. Robots served humans, but also suffered human cruelty. For example, some owners personally removed their robots' legs and arms, selling them for spare parts right in front of them. This place had even bred a gray underground industry. That night, led by a middleman, the protagonist and the officer met a female robot who worked in a special profession.